I'm Dan Hedges for engineering.com, talking now to Grand Hank. Pleased to meet you.
Pleasure meeting you. Thanks for having me, Dan.
So you put on big shows, edutainment shows for youth. Can you tell me what got you into this?
Well, it's the experience that I went through in trying to become a scientist. So I grew up in the inner city, in the housing project. They call it the Mill Creek Housing Projects. And I'm one of 8 kids. So we saw challenges that were unbelievable. And I realized that to overcome that, I would have to use education. So I was able to move through the system, and I got into college. And when I got into college, I had no direction as to what I might want to pursue. And I knew that science was coming, but I didn't know where, I didn't know what kind. So I put these 4 subjects in a hat: chemistry, physics, mathematics, and computer science. I put all 4 of them in a hat. Guess what? I wasn't good at none of them. But I pulled out chemistry, and I said, this will be the subject I'm going to pursue. So there was no before chemistry, like I'm blowing stuff up around the house and all that led me to it. It was a conscious decision or a random decision. Random decision.
It was the hat's decision.
It was the hat's decision, the chemistry. Now, in pursuing chemistry, this is where the lesson comes. Because when I started taking chemistry, my first chemistry test, I failed. I was disappointed. I was just knocked out of the box. I studied twice as hard. I go to take the second test, and I failed that too. So here's the interesting part of why I do what I do. When I failed the second test, I realized that I was not as smart as I thought I was. And that I tell all kids that when you get stuck and you're gonna reach this point, you're gonna have to ask for help. That's the number one thing people don't do. So most of the people that I went to school with quietly failed out without asking for help. Now here's the second part. When I asked for help, I didn't get it. That's the number one thing that people need to know. Sometime when you ask for help, it's not gonna come. It's not gonna come just because you ask. So I had a professor who I felt did not like me. And in return, I did not like him because he did not like me. But to overcome that, this is why I teach people, you have to have humility. So I humbled myself and I approached my professor, who was not very friendly to me. And I said, sir, I'm not learning science the way you're teaching it. Can you help me? And to my surprise, he said yes. And he began this whole tutor mentorship program where I began to understand some of the concepts at a more deeper level. And then I was able to move through science, where most of the people that I was going to school with, they didn't have that opportunity, and they left science because of the experience of it. So that is what I try to, this is why I'm doing what I do, to show people that science is wonderful, it's beautiful, it's a great opportunity, it pays well, it does a lot of things, but most of our kids, they never get past the front barrier, and that's the barrier of entry, and it has nothing to do with the academic understanding. It's just stuff that happens in between.
You're echoing some of the things that we've heard a lot at this festival this year. We've been talking about how, especially on social media, sometimes you can send out the cool things that science can do, but when at a certain point, science gets really hard. And so if you get the excitement up with the cool things, it might be misleading. It might be a bit of a bait and switch when you get there. It gets hard when you're in school. It gets hard when you're out of school and you have to, and science is a series of failing. And it seems like what you're saying is failure is okay. And that's right. Something that we're hearing.
But they never get to that point, because once they start trying to do science, and if my teacher's not friendly to me, oh, I'm out of here. I can't do science, not because academically, it's because of the teacher that's teaching it. He's not directing me. He knows it's hard, but if he explains to me, look, chemistry is hard. So what I teach young people is, rule number 1, You have to learn how to do well at things you're not good at. Number one thing. When people tell me, I'm not good at math, why not? Why are you not good at math? Because of what? Well, I don't understand. Let's go back to what it is that's stopping you. Is it fractions? Is it decimals? Is it percentages? This ain't high order math. At the basic fundamental level is where people get stopped. Then they try to learn complex stuff on top of it, fundamentals they don't have. My show is a fundamental show to teach the fundamentals that it is difficult, it is challenging, but it's very doable, and it's very rewarding.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about your show and how you reel people in?
Yeah, well, that's the easy part. This show, if you figure, let's think of a circus, a 3-ring circus. We have hip hop, we have science, and we have lecturing, all combined in one, all going on at the same time. Kids today love hip hop. They can sing every word, every song, they can recite it backwards and forwards, but can they recite principles of science? And they don't have to be in depth with it, but they don't tie the two together. So my show combines all 3 of these elements, and it's almost like a suit of learning where the kids are learning and they're wondering, how am I doing this? I just answered the question. You knew it already. All I did was draw it out. These things are being taught in school, in some schools. You have it in there. It's just drawing it out and making you feel comfortable understanding what you think you understand. That's all it is.
Okay. And tell us a little bit, that's one initiative you have, but tell us a little bit about the Grand Hank Science Center for Inner City Youth.
Okay. Well, the Science Center is beautiful and unique. So we're putting the finishing touches on a career long of driving kids to science. So as of course I get older, as things progress, I said we need a base where we can bring kids in and we can teach them science at the very fundamental level, but give them hands-on opportunities to be able to learn these things at their own pace and at their own interests. So that's what the Grand Hank Science Center is about. So we're looking for all kind of funders, partners, anybody who's interested in driving kids to science. This is going to be a mega hub, and it's almost complete. So we're looking at popping the doors on this thing in June of this year. Yeah, we're there.
Okay. And that's for the hands-on experience.
The hands-on experience, so kids can learn science at the most fundamental level, at their pace. Because there's a lot of science out here being taught, but kids not interested in it. There's a lot of things, well, before I get you to this complicated stuff, let's work on the little stuff that you like. Let's show you some color changes. Let's show you some chemical reactions. Let's show you a little bit of physics. We're now, everybody's eyes are up to the sky looking at, we want to go to another planet. Let's talk and show science about these things at a fundamental level. Then we can stack on the complicated things as well.
All right. Grand Hank, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
You can find more informational videos here on engineering.com.